Hello and welcome back. This is One Voice Radio and Media, and today we have a very special guest for an interview. We have Jean Conrad from Ukrainian Women's Association. Welcome to the studio.
Thank you, and it's lovely to meet you all.
It's lovely to have you down here. We've got a few questions for you today, and I believe you've been sent the questions.
Yes, yes,
lovely.
I have, yes.
Alex, is it you starting off? Go for it.
How are you today?
Quite well, Alex. Obviously, we're all worried about the war in Ukraine, and that's our main focus at the club, that we do a lot of fundraising, and not just our club, but all the clubs in the UK.
Yeah.
So.
How many is there on estimate, do you know?
I'd probably say about 40.
40,
there was a lot more, but some have shut down. But then with the we don't call them refugees, our friends from Ukraine coming over, some have actually developed. So Liverpool's a new one, Sheffield's a new one.
Oh, so
some have come in and started little hubs of themselves.
Oh, that's amazing. Oh, lovely. Andrew, I believe you're next.
Yeah, sure. Can you tell us about yourself?
Okay, not very interesting, Andrew, but I'll do my best.
Sure,
so I was born in Stockport. I've lived here all my life, to a Ukrainian father who came over after World War II and an English mother. I have one married sister who lives in Bolton, and she's really involved in the Ukrainian Association. She's married to somebody that is of Ukrainian parents. And I'm heavily involved in the activities at the Ukrainian club. So I went to a local primary school not far from here, which is Christchurch, because I lived just at the back here when I got married. And then I went to an all-girls grammar school. I don't think we have many of those now. And then Stockport College to do a secretarial course, and worked in 2 engineering companies. Working my way up to a secretary PA for a managing director. And before I had my children, I retrained to be a teacher, and I worked at Stockport College for 30 years until I had a major heart surgery. So when I started teaching at night school and then part-time so I could be with my children. And it was a good job while the children were young, because I was able to spend time with them. But I'm now retired and driving my husband mad. So I've been married to Carl for 47 years.
Oh, wow.
And I have 2 grown-up sons, Stefan and Roman, and I have 3 grandchildren, the oldest being 17, so Charlie, Oliver and Harry.
Oh, very nice.
And that's it about myself. I met Carl at the Ukrainian club, although he isn't from Ukrainian parents.
All right. And did you say you did a bit of IT when you were teaching? Yes.
I did. I started off secretarial,
Yeah.
which then turned to business admin. And obviously you had to do the database and the PowerPoints and all that.
Yeah.
And then 2 years before I finished, they put me onto purely IT, cut the admin course in my section, and asked me to teach programming, which was delightful because I was up till 12 o'clock every night trying to work out this and that.
A lot of research.
And I asked, was there any redundancies, and they said no. And then just before I think it was the May half term, they called us in and said the government had cut the budget and it was going to be redundancy. So I was in there like a shot. Left the end of July, had a heart attack August, and early September had a quadruple heart bypass because I was so stressed.
Wow.
So that's it. So I never looked back.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't my discipline really to teach.
Yeah. You did it anyway.
I did it, yeah.
Josh, you got the next question.
How did you get involved in doing what you do?
Right, well, I can't remember a time when I wasn't involved in the Ukrainian Association because of my father. So from when I was little, I used to go to the club. So when I was younger, I went to Ukrainian school until I was 16 on a Saturday. And I went with Alex's mum used to go and all her aunties used to go, and we used to call it Saturday school. So there we learnt the language and to read and write. We learnt the culture. We did history and geography of Ukraine, and it used to be for about 2.5 hours on a Saturday. And the club we had then was on Turncroft Lane. It was very small, but as our families grew, there was about 70 families in Stockport of Ukrainian origin. They decided they needed new premises, so we've now got a big hall and a club on Buxton Road, and that's our home. I was also a member of the Ukrainian Youth Association, which is like Scouts. Have you all heard of Scouts and clubs? And
Never heard of that.
yeah.
Was anyone part of a team of Scouts or clubs or anything like that when you were younger?
Yeah, I used to
I
do
don't think
clubs
I
and
had
scouts,
anything.
yeah.
So there we learnt a little bit more of the history of Ukrainian, and we did activities, and we used to go to other clubs in the area like Ashton and Oldham and Manchester, and have events there to meet other people. And we also went to a summer camp, which is still going. So I went to a summer camp for 3 weeks when I was younger. So I did Alex's mum and her aunties, and that's in Derby. It's a lovely camp.
Oh, really?
So it's in Weston-on-Trent, Derby. It's got a pub in the grounds. It's got a big hall. It's got a canal and a river running by it. And my children went to summer camp, and my grandchildren go to
So they've
summer
all gone
camps.
down the same.
So they've all gone down the same route.
Oh, very nice.
My grandchildren now don't go to the main camp, they go to what's known as sports camp.
Yeah.
And they go probably for a week or two. And my daughter-in-law, who's English, she goes and helps at the camp,
okay.
so that's cool. So I've never sort of been away from it. I was also with the Youth Association. They ran the dance troupe. So I was a lot smaller in those days and a lot thinner, and I used to do Ukrainian dancing. I belonged to the Ukrainian Greek Catholic Church, and we use St Joseph's near the market.
Oh, that's
Because we haven't got one here, but the priest comes from Bolton, is based, our new priest. And I became a member of the Ukrainian Association of Women in Great Britain when I got married. So I'm now deputy chair of the Stockport branch of Ukrainian Women's Association, and I'll speak more about that later.
Alex, I think we're back to you for the next question.
What do we have to do if we are wanting to donate?
Right, so at the moment we're dealing with this shoebox appeal. Have you all heard of the shoebox appeal? Yeah? And we've done it for the past quite a few years with Alex's family and one project, Ukraine in Macclesfield. So if you want to donate things like these gloves and hats and little toys, cards. Have you all seen the list?
I think we helped you edit a little list out the other day, didn't we, with some of the things on it. Yeah.
Some little toiletries like bath gels and shower things, things like that.
Yeah.
Then apparently you can drop it up here at Pure Innovations, where Alex's mum will pick it
Alex's
up.
mum has said, yeah, she will pick things up.
And if there is any problem or you want any further help, Anne Mendham, who's Alex's mum, has asked me to give her phone number, and she's okay with that.
Yeah.
So it's 079 35 33 386. I'll just repeat that. 079 35 33 8386. Donations though have to be in by the 8th of November so that we can get them to the children and teenagers by Christmas.
So there's still a few more weeks.
Yeah. And if you do donate, you'll bring a smile to somebody in the midst of war. And I'd just like to say thank you for all your efforts, because I know you've done this in the past as well. It's much appreciated.
No, it's needed anyway. Yeah, definitely. Have you got? Go on. Amelia, the next question. Where are you? There we are.
Have you made many donations?
Well, in the past we've done hundreds of shoe boxes, and even before one project, the war in the east of Ukraine started in 2014. So we've been sending since 2014, but so far this effort, which is a really good effort, we've had so far over 200 shoe boxes.
Oh.
And the numbers are increasing all the time. The delight we bring to children in this terrible time of conflict is so rewarding. And again, thank you to One Project Ukraine and Pure Innovations for helping us in this.
Definitely there to help. Mark, I believe you've got the next question.
Yeah, what do you say to someone who is currently involved and struggling with a war taking place in Ukraine?
Thank you very much for that question, Mark, because it's a very important question, isn't it?
Yeah.
So, we really need to help them. The Ukrainian community throughout the UK help all they can. We've got fundraising all over, and I tell Ukrainians that are over here it's a safe haven for them. The British people, those providing accommodation support, have been absolutely amazing. British, European and American governments have been extremely supportive in the conflict and know that unless Putin is stopped, he'll carry on trying to rebuild the Russian Empire by invading other nearby countries. We all want the war to end and the killing to stop, and we're all trying for the same outcome. President Zelensky and other world leaders are working to that end, and as we know, Ukrainians want to return to their homeland. Some of them have actually gone back. If they're in the west of Ukraine and perhaps a little village that hasn't been targeted so far, touch wood, they may go back. And a lot of the children are missing their grandparents because a lot of grandparents wouldn't come. They felt they were too old and didn't want to travel. And it was a mass exodus. So a lot of the children are really missing grandparents because grandparents in Ukraine help to look after children, and a lot of them live with their grandparents, mum and dads in the same house. Like I say, we just can't thank the British people enough. We're amazed. We all want the war to end and the killing to stop, and we're all trying for the same outcome. President Zelensky and other world leaders are working to that end, and as we know, Ukrainians want to return to their homeland, like many have already done, if they feel safe enough to do that.
Megan.
What would you like to happen to help those affected in the current situation?
Oh, well, I'd like to do lots, but it's not always possible, and everybody's doing a little bit, aren't they? So that was a really good question as well, Megan. So obviously I'd like the war to end, and I know that there's been talks this week with President Zelensky and other presidents on a way to end the war and end the conflict, so we're keeping our fingers crossed. Ukrainians want to go home to a free country. Under Russian rule, my father was under the Polish side, but a lot of them were under the Russian rule. The ones that have come over have told us they weren't allowed to speak Ukrainian, they couldn't sing Ukrainian songs. Putin's been burning a lot of books. The Women's Association have actually in the process of archiving a lot of things so that we've got some Ukrainian history, and that's being stored at a university in London. So I think it's London East University. I'd like the support to continue from the government so that there is a quick end to the war. Support's been amazing, and we're eternally grateful to charities, companies, organisations like yourself and Pure Innovations, and One Project Ukraine, Macclesfield, who are collecting, transporting shoe boxes, and I know throughout the year they send other things. We're also grateful to Stockport Ukrainian Club because we had a shop when they first came over, the Ukrainians. They came over with a small suitcase, if that. And initially we sent a big articulated lorry over to Poland to meet them and give them goods in that. But those that flew over, that were given perhaps a free air ticket, things like toiletries were taken off them because you're not allowed to take them on the plane. So we set up a shop and we ran it for about 18 months. And it had toiletries and things you would need for every day.
Everyday use, yeah.
Every day, and it was free. They could come into the club and just take what they wanted. A lot of them now are settling and have taken jobs that were offered. So they're jobs like in shops, perhaps in factories, not high, I wouldn't say high power jobs, but they've taken what they've been given.
Yeah.
And a lot of them are quite qualified. You know, we've had an optician, we've had people with skills like decorating, etc. The free shop now has been finished, and they are more settled. We also put on events for them to attend, so they have some cultural identity and make friendships from the homeland, because it's nice for them to hear Ukrainian being spoken. A lot of them have attended English lessons.
Yeah.
A lot of them could speak English, and they're quite proud of that. So the Association of Ukrainians in Great Britain is our main hub, based in London, and that's AUGB. Has helped immensely by fundraising. They've raised, we've all been sending, but they've raised millions. And then we have the Ukrainian Women's Association, which I belong to, and they fundraise, sending money over to charities in Ukraine to buy goods there to support the economy. We're also sending much needed goods from here, along with vehicles, etc. As part of the Ukrainian Ladies Association, we always have an annual charity. And it usually comes around Christmas, where we support a charity in Ukraine and a charity in England. Recently though, around November, for the past 3 years, we've been supporting the Trussell Trust, and we've given food to food banks over there. And then we send the money to Ukraine rather than sometimes the goods, so that they can buy from Ukraine and keep the economy going. In the past, we've supported an orphanage in Chernihiv, and I know Alex's auntie has just sent 50 sets of bedding, sheets, pyjamas, socks, etc. And our latest one, I think, is the Shirley region, and that's another orphanage, and we've sent the needed generators because they've been bombed, so these are more in the east. One of them needed a new floor, which we paid for. Industrial generators they were, and money to buy things like fridges, beds, etc.
Yeah.
We have a mother and child fund to help people in need who've lost their homes, or their husbands or partners are in the war.
Yeah.
In the UK, we have in the past 3 years supported the Trussell Trust, like I've said, but in previous years we've supported Great Ormond Street, the Wellspring, to name a few of the charities. Recently, in August, we did a big fundraising day at the Ukrainian Club to raise money for the bombed out cancer hospital in Odymat, where we raised over £1,000. Since 2014, when the war began in the east, we've sent parcels to the soldiers defending the country, aid to the poor, etc. The Stockport Youth Association, which is like the Scouts, after about a month or so of the invasion, they did a sponsored walk, and they went up to, I think, Derbyshire, and did a big hill climb, and they raised over £4,000. So we're raising money all the time. So all our Ukrainian clubs in the UK are fundraising continuously. And we're grateful for any help or support from other organisations like on Project Ukraine collecting shoe boxes, Pure Innovations help collecting them as well. From our Ukrainian club this year, we've also sent several large pallets of goods, boots for the soldiers, underwear, equipment, food, through Macclesfield Ukrainian Aid, and they send trucks over all the time. So we're currently waiting to see what the Ladies' Christmas charity will be for this year. Within the first week of the war, Alex's family, aunts and sisters, collected 2 transit vans of the goods, which we all contributed to, and they went to the Polish border to give items to those fleeing, and that was a week after the war started. So that was amazing. And they continue sending items and fundraising as we all do. I can't say thank you enough though to the British people and organisations like Pure Innovations, One Project Ukraine, and the likes of Rotary clubs, many organisations, supermarkets that donated, companies large and small, medical aid, the fire service has been over with fire engines, and also individual families who've donated to our cause both in time and money. So if you can't give money, you know, people have come and helped pack things, etc. So those affected by the war, I want to say that we are striving to help you put an end to this conflict. And that's what I would say to your question. We have, 2 weeks ago, one of our ladies from the Ladies Association went to a college in Ukraine, and she helped teach a little bit there, and then came back, she went for a week. So that was good as well.
Amazing.
So we just do what we can.
Well, you do quite a lot.
We do, yeah,
Very good of you.
everybody throughout the UK does, but I mean, the British people have just been so good.
That's what you want to hear, I suppose, don't you? And the last one, Mark, I believe it's you.
Is there anything you would like to ask us?
Is there anything you'd like to ask us? I think you're a lovely bunch of students. You weren't like my students, quite noisy. Obviously, you're on your best behaviour today.
Do that.
So, what do you think a child or a teenager would like to find in the shoebox? What type of things do you think they would like to find?
Something that might be interesting to them. That they could just maybe cut their attention, who knows what it might be.
Yes.
Packet of football cards and things like that,
cards.
Toys.
We sent cards over, little small toys. For the younger ones, we sent little cuddly toys, only, you know, small ones.
Yeah.
Like playing cards and all that.
Playing
definitely
cards.
Playing cards.
I mean, for the soldiers, we sent like things
Yes, I understand.
like paracetamol, warm socks, warm hats, but nothing with a logo on because the Russians use it as sniper, as a target. But I also, you know, when I'd include a pack of playing cards, a pack of dominoes, so that if they did get some downtime, they have something
to do. Yeah.
So yeah.
What is your favourite song?
Oh yeah, Andrew loves
Just
ending
go-
things
oh,
with a nice song.
My favourite song? Oh gosh.
It's just what?
Well, actually, I went to on Monday. I went to a funeral, and they played at the end "Time to Say Goodbye" by Andrea Bocelli. Have you heard of him?
Yes, I'll give you that one.
Yeah, and it was just so beautiful. I'd forgotten how nice it was.
Would you like to add a song into it, Andrew? You love your songs, don't you?
I will do what the lady just said before, on the Bocelli singing, what's it called, that
Time
song?
to Say Goodbye it was.
Yes, Time to say goodbye.
And that was lovely.
And I can give you a second one,
Go on.
Al Jolson.
Oh, well, Mammy,
Yes.
is that the one you like, Mammy?
Well, Well, I wasn't born then, but I recognise his voice, but he sings
You
it.
like that song, yeah?
Mm,
That's fair
he's a
enough.
very...
Two songs.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Amazing. Well, we'd like to say a massive thank you for coming down anyway today and well, answering all our questions and being so polite
Yeah,
and
you
lovely about
asked
it.
some really good questions and perhaps I went a little bit too deep, but
No,
I feel very
needs to be said.
passionately
Can
about
I ask you one more thing?
Yes, certainly. As long as it's not my weight. All right, because I don't want
Listen about
anybody...
No. What you look about, see, I won't mention this, okay? I think you're about around 40-ish.
Oh, gosh.
If
Oh, I
you're
love
not
you.